It's time once again for the Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, CW. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to hit that bell on YouTube and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting app or just on YouTube because it's way easier. What's up, guys? I am Sans, me in the video today. My setup took a fat dump, but my microphone still works, so I'm here to do the podcast. And today we're talking about Ricochet. Ricochet made a lot of wrestling press over the weekend by there are reports that he is done with WWE. Shocking news, shocking revelations that Ricochet is done and moving on from WWE. I have yet to hear that he has actually left. His last contractual date to show up on an episode of Raw was last night's Raw. He did the job for Braun Breaker, put him over, went out like a hero, went out in an ambulance. Samantha Irvin sold it, and he may be gone. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, the internet is full of lies all the time. So who knows if this is true? It could be a work, but I mean, all signs point to him kind of getting written off TV and moving on and going somewhere else. I saw a headline, I believe it was on Cage Side Seats, where they said the fact that Ricochet would be leaving WWE is showing the health of the wrestling industry at the moment, and I tend to agree with that. The fact that if he decides to leave WWE, he has many options, and he could be successful anywhere. My biggest, not biggest, what I would say is I like Ricochet. I find him to be an entertaining performer. If he is unhappy in WWE, you shouldn't stay at a job that you're unhappy with. So if he has options, there's no better freedom in life, I feel, than being able to just up and stop doing something you don't like and go off and do something you do like. Like the ability to do that and to kind of find your bliss is a blessing not many people are granted. And if Ricochet has that, that's fantastic. In terms of his performance in WWE, he's always been great, but he's never been the best promo. That is not, a slight on him. He just isn't the guy that they would hand a mic to do a 5-minute segment, right? I like to equate his sort of position in the company with Chad Gable, who I hold in very high regard. And this is not a knock on Chad Gable either. He is a mid-tier guy, not because he can't win the big gold, but because they need him there as a utility player. He is a workhorse, as they say. That's why he's going after the IC title. And Ricochet is the same. Ricochet and Chad Gable are both incredibly talented, incredibly gifted performers in their specific what's the word? I don't know. In what they do, right? Ricochet is an accomplished, maybe one of the best of all time high flyers, and Chad Gable is a technical wrestling genius. They both excel at the thing that they're good at. But the difference is you can hand Chad Gable a mic and he can go out and get over with the crowd without wrestling. He doesn't have to do anything besides talking to the mic. And if he needs to be a heel, he can get himself over as a heel. If he needs to be a babyface, he can get himself over as a face with just the mic. And then he'll back up all that talk in the ring with his technical ability, his skill, his strength, his speed, all of it. Chad Gable's incredible. Ricochet can do all of that in the ring. He'll put on fantastic matches. He'll do all the incredible moves that you find enjoyable. The problem is he can't do that 5-minute segment, or he hasn't been given the ability. He hasn't been given the time to at least try. Right? Every promo we see from Ricochet is pretty basic. Whatever they tell him to do, he does. But he doesn't have that same promo spark that other professional wrestlers have. So I like to think of it in terms of like sliders in a video game when you're creating your character. Someone slid his like high flying and agility all the way to 10, and then they put his like promo at 2. They didn't have enough points left to kind of move promo over. Where it's Chad Gable, I don't know, everything's super balanced. They're like all 8s, right? Which, you know, is great. I don't know how Ricochet feels. He hasn't spoken about this. He hasn't said he's done. His contract is up, and if he's gone, he's gone. I don't know. He hasn't commented on it. But I can only imagine that he's looking for a place where he can do that, where he can take the mic and cut a promo and get himself over and just have that ability. The problem is that Ricochet is a talented performer in a sea of talented performers. WWE has very many talented performers. And now with people like Ilya Dragunov and Braun Breaker coming up to kind of take his spot, as it would seem, like Ilya Dragunov is another guy like Chad Gable, where he has all those points, and then he also has the promo and the charisma to carry himself in the ring without having to wrestle. In a sea of incredible performers, and it's hard to stand out if you're not able to hold the mic, or you're not given the ability to hold a mic and get yourself over. Ricochet, if you've noticed, for the past couple of years has been kind of on the steady path. He's been kind of in the same place. He did win that, the World Cup a couple of years ago to get a shot at Gunther, and he lost. And then he put over Logan Paul at WrestleMania. He's put over Ilya Dragunov. The last couple matches, he's just lost. You know, he's just been taking L's left and right. And they built him to be an incredible performer, but not a winner. And I don't know about you, but if I'm a professional wrestler and my whole deal is I want to be not a star, but I mean, yeah, you want to be a star. You want to be loved and everything. At some point in your career, you're just like, well, I don't want to take so many L's. I want to actually win gold. I want to do this. I want to be the top guy or gal. Maybe that's what he's feeling, and he's going off to try and search for that. In that case, the Indies are his friend. I don't think AEW is like the best place for him, despite what Will Ospreay may say. He can do anything. He can go to TNA and still be connected to WWE. He can go on the Indies and have a run like Matt Cardona has. He can do whatever he wants. He can go to Hollywood and be a stuntman. Who cares? He can do anything. He's got that freedom, and that's a blessing, like I said. But I was sitting thinking about Ricochet and kind of his tenure at WWE, and I almost equated it to R-Truth, where I was like, R-Truth has been with WWE for a very, very long time, and he's taken a lot of L's. But R-Truth, I feel like he has a different philosophy on the business, where he turns a lot of crap nonsense into gold just because of who he is. Like that 24/7 championship was like a weight around people's necks, except for R-Truth. He was the only one who benefited from that. Maybe, no, just him. It was just him. And it really was a goofy gimmick, a goofy title that he elevated by just embracing the fact that it was goofy, and he coveted it, and it was like his own personal like ring of power, right? And he kind of just endures a lot of stuff in WWE, and people love him because he embraces it. I would love for Ricochet to stay because I love watching Ricochet's matches. I feel no one can do what Ricochet does, or at least no one I've seen. I'm sure there are other people on the indies who can do it, but no one in WWE can pull off a Ricochet match. And I don't know, maybe if he was more comfortable in his position in the company and just kind of put on those dope matches, I don't know, maybe he would feel a little better. I have no idea. What do you think about Ricochet taking off from WWE? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. We're back to 10 minutes today because that's kind of where we are. Thank you once again, and don't you ever forget.
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.